I've had to fire clients
Yes, as have
because
I.
they misbehave. And
Mhm.
I've also had, at my full-time equivalents, I had a client one time that was screaming and yelling always at the receptionist.
Mhm.
And I said, next time, pass them over to me. Because I didn't, at that time, that wasn't a company I personally owned. But I said, pass them over to me. And I basically said, because they were, believe it or not, they were somebody I had signed up, and I was like, um, so that is not okay, ever.
Nope.
I've listened to you do this over and over and over and over again,
Yep.
and that is not okay for that employee. That's not okay for our company, and you
Nope.
no longer can have our services. And
Exactly.
it was like, well, but I'll behave. And I'm like, no, for a solid year, you may not have our services.
You
And he came
grounded
back.
a client.
I did. And I came back, and he came back a year later and said, I'm very sorry. Can I now work with you guys again? And I said, yes, you can. And he was
Mom, is
a
my grounding
pussycat.
over?
uh, he was. And, and I think sometimes in that, clients have a responsibility, or customers have a responsibility to respect a place, a place's business. I mean, COVID was a little bit of an example of that, when people were demanding certain things in business places. And it was like, I, you have the right to not shop there, but you
Mhm.
do not have the right to tell them how they should have their organization. The best way to get an organization to change is to not go to that organization, because everybody else leaves, right?
Yep.
But you don't have the right to be mean, to be rude
No,
and
not at
unkind.
all. Not at all. Yeah, it's a huge hurdle in getting through to some founders that the concept of the customer is always right is 100% valid. It's a both and situation. They're going to have an experience. You can learn from them.
Mhm.
And your job is not to become a doormat. Ideally, yes, they are paying you, but they're not paying for the right to abuse you.